We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
T. Madden and Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I.
Good day, good people. Once again, you've got the grumpy old nerds in your ear. As always, it is I, your Uncle John, your elder who watches way too much TV and movies, reads way too many comics, and quite honestly, doesn't want to take life seriously, so I remain doing child stuff. And hopefully, my life doesn't end up in the toilet. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. As always, with me are your other grumpy old nerd elders. To my, am I pointing the right way? Yeah, to my left is Uncle Rod. What's good, sir? How you feeling?
What's good, everybody? Excuse me, I was just looking down at my phone. I'm blocking haters on the Cowboys just because the Eagles won in one game. Everybody thinks, they feel like they need to get at me about Dallas.
Well,
because Jokers won one game.
Rod, I'm going to tell you, Uncle Rod, I'm a Bears fan, and I have no dog in this race because my boys ain't shit right now, and they ain't going to be shit for a minute. So,
hey, I like the quarterback, though. I like the quarterback.
I love him, but he's not very good. He's not looking to be very good right now. He also doesn't have help.
He shouldn't be playing right now. That's the thing.
He shouldn't. Okay, yeah, that's a whole story for another day. So
that's another show.
Right.
Shout out to Orange and Green Strike Zone.
and BCSN, please check them out as well. So, as always, on the ones and twos, we have Uncle Roy. What's good, sir?
Hello.
Hey, there it is. One of the great things that I love about comics and the story that particular type of storytelling is that when you have groups like the Avengers or the Justice League and they have this whole big roster, sometimes you'd only get a couple of them in some adventures. Sometimes you have the whole squad. Sometimes you'd have 2 or 3. Sometimes you have 10. So today we're flying solo. Well, not solo because there are 3 of us. But today we're flying without Uncle DJ, Auntie Nicole, and Uncle Percy. Best wishes to them. Hopefully next week they can rejoin us. But I would be remiss if I did not mention that Herschel Walker is an idiot. Okay, so I
just like that, huh?
I can't do it with this cat.
So tell
So
us how you really feel.
I love the sport of football, but I truly believe that if it weren't for the sport of football, we would have a lot of guys out there just with a lot of anger who wouldn't know where to place it and who would be jacked up and like knocking people over and just doing crimes of horrendous horrendous crimes, because football players are some of the craziest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And this is coming from somebody who has coached. Coming from somebody who has played football, somebody who has coached football. I know motherfuckers out there, but anybody who's out there willing to bang heads for 3 hours has got to be nuts. And I come from the era of the 2-a-days in 100-degree heat and 1 water break each practice. So
listen, man, that's why you run a spread offense. You don't have everybody within 8 yards of each other running into each other and having a headache by halftime.
But then you're trying to knock it. But then if somebody don't let somebody catch a pass over the middle, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
and Herschel Walker coming from another football coach, and Herschel Walker being a running back, he has taken a lot of hits over the middle upside his head. And right now, the simple fact that in the state of Georgia, this man in the polls is winning for this Senate race is blowing my whole black fucking mind.
Hey, listen, man, listen.
I understand where it's coming from. Because them white people said, hey, hold on. You all have Barack Obama for 8 years, and we need to put a black face on the ballot. Okay, I get that. But Roy, please tell me why this man who can't put together a sentence and who brings out toy badges during a debate, why is this man winning in the polls?
You go first, Roy.
Because the polls are lying. The polls are lying, okay. And I tell people political science was one of my majors, and I actually had a research and development firm, and that's what we did. I can make a damn poll say anything I want to. That they are asking the most backwatered ass people the question of who they're supporting in that poll. There is absolutely no way that a legitimate poll in the state of Georgia has him beating Raphael Warnock. It has to be the most asinine thing, because even white people are looking at Herschel like, you literally have Republicans being like, oh hell no. Like white Republicans are like, this dude's is a damn idiot. And this is like, no, we have to vet, and they're saying it politically, we have to vet our people to be qualified politicians. Herschel Walker is down for Trump because Trump made him a millionaire. End of discussion. Yeah, there's no way that poll is legit. It's either doing one of two things. It's either just doing it just to scare black people into making sure that they can get their behinds out and vote, or something. Because
Listen, man, this is either one of the most genius troll jobs ever, next to WandaVision, or
oh Lord,
or this is a ridiculous grasp at some sort of trying to regain control by the powers that be, because in no way, shape, or form in any universe is Herschel Walker qualified to even think about running for that office. Just like Tommy Tuberville, who's a former football coach. running and winning actually in Alabama. Raphael Warnock is 10 times more qualified to do the job that he's doing. And he's doing it well. I think that they just kind of dug somebody up and said, "Hey, he has name recognition. Let's put him in front of the camera and get some people out to maybe vote for us because they're dumb as hell, and just because they see somebody looking like them, they'll vote for him, or they'll remember that he was a great running back at the University of Georgia, and I'll vote for him."
So, Roy, you were
Herschel
going to
Walker
say
was
something?
great when he was in college. You know why I love Herschel Walker?
Yeah.
Because he got the Dallas Cowboys 3 Super Bowls when he got traded. Jimmy Johnson was a genius. The people that
I
we
knew that
the people we got trading Herschel Walker were instrumental in our last 3 Super Bowl wins. So thank you, Herschel. Please don't run for any damn office.
Roy, you were going to say something?
No, I already said it. He's a damn idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way that's real.
What really bugs me, I guess, is that the Democratic Party doesn't seem to want to go for the jugular. You know what I'm saying? They'll put out these slanderous commercials, but Warnock had Walker in a debate where he could really, because Walker's suit didn't even fit right. So he couldn't articulate anything that he really wanted to say. So you got Warnock dressed down, looking fly. And the man is a preacher. That this man could have verbally run circles around Walker, and he brought up some solid points. But my question is, why aren't the Democrats just like really saying, you know what, Walker's a fool. We can make him look like a fool. That's why Walker turned down the first opportunity for a debate. He was like, no, I ain't gonna do it. And even in one of his commercials, he said, yeah, I know Warnock can talk better than me, but I is who I is, or some shit. He didn't say that verbatim. But
I was about to say, what the hell?
It was damn close.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Even me saying that in jest is not far from where he was in reality. So why are the Democrats not going ahead and saying, you know what, we've got an idiot. Let's go ahead and bury him where he is.
I don't know anybody, connected with Reverend Warnock's strategy, but to me, he doesn't seem like the type of dude that would really really go after somebody and smoke them the way he could have. I think he was just trying to be, as gracious as possible. Because you do run the risk of also looking like a bully when you do that.
It's not that. This is one of the catch-22s as it relates to Black people in politics. We as lay people and as voters, we can call Herschel Walker's dumbass an idiot. You can't do that if you're running. Especially the parties. The parties can't do it because now they look like they're disparaging a Black man, because that's how we're going to look at it. That's how, and not us. Those of us who know he's an idiot are going to be like, yeah, he's a damn idiot. But it's going to be some Black people out there who probably don't even vote. Who probably just, listen to the white man call Herschel Walker this and that. Dude, that's what the real issue is. That's why they are not going in on that. Because Herschel Walker literally everybody has the right. This is America. Long as you ain't got the felonies, long as you do, you meet the criteria, everybody has the right to run. But that's just like I wouldn't have had no business trying to play running back for the University of Georgia. Just because I had the right to do it, don't mean that my dumb ass should go out there and try to do it at 135 pounds at the time. No. Herschel's ass should not be running for this office. He is not intellectually capable of handling the debates that you have in a serious debates that you have in Congress. And just looking at what dude has done and said is ridiculous in this process.
And what's even funnier is that, no, you're good. What's even funnier is that I saw snippet on social media of his son going in on him. Like, my father was never there. My father has kids all over the world, and my father paid for an abortion, something that he says he doesn't believe in. And my father has not shown any type of responsibility. If your child is telling the world this, why in the fuck would you want to vote for this fool? I just don't see it. So, I mean,
Okay,
you know,
well, as far as
God,
Christian Walker is concerned, there's, he's somewhat dubious in his dealings and his character as well, but the point still does remain that that's his son, and his son is saying those things about him. So that alone should give you pause as to whether or not you want to deal with somebody like that. But hey man, enough of that. Let's go. Comics, movies.
So, every now and again
We're
we got to
fully
deal with
established on
reality.
this.
So yeah. Every now and again we got a dose of reality. But before we go any
Right.
further down that rabbit hole,
Hey,
Creed
hold on
3,
real
the
quick,
trailer.
John.
What's up?
Roy,
What's
can you
up?
make those comments bigger? Because right now I'm looking at
Yeah,
looks
I
like
can't read
I saw
any of
you
those.
looking. I looked at it too. Somebody made a comment, so let's see
it
here.
looks like
I did
binary
too.
right
When he
now. All it
pulled
looks like I
out the
see is
toy
ones and
badge,
zeros.
when he pulled out the toy badge, I was crying laughing. There it is. And you're correct, sir. You're correct, sir.
T.O.
It
with the
was the
comment.
funniest shit. Yeah. And what's even funnier is that the crowd laughed too. The crowd in a political debate, the crowds are usually stoic. They fell out laughing as well. I was like, look at this dumb shit here. But before we go any further down that rabbit hole, we have been assaulted by the trailer for Creed 3. Can we check that out, Roy? Just all this
Hey, dude, I
black
didn't see that on the
masculinity.
list.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that was
and
the
that was the
next one
first
on
one.
the list. Yeah.
Yeah,
James
and
Otis
that's my
Hall,
bad.
I
I have both of
think
the
you're
other
right,
ones.
man.
Hold on a second.
James Otis Hall says CTE to the 10th power.
Right.
It's not
Absolutely
funny. You
insane.
shouldn't laugh about stuff like that, but when you see stuff like this, your mind inevitably goes down that path.
But what happened was when I saw it, my first thought was, I can't wait till Saturday Night Live this week because I want to see what they talk about his dumb ass with. Assaulted, yes, assaulted by the Creed 3 trailer because all that masculinity and testosterone hit me upside my face. I was like, hold on now, that's just too much black man on the screen. We're about to watch it now.
He
I
said they
can't make
gotta
out
go
your
watch
name, sir.
it. We're pulling it up.
Yep, we are about to watch it.
Yeah, we all gonna watch it together.
All right, here we go, guys.
I spent the last 7 years of my life living out my wildest dreams. Bianca, Rocky, my dad. This was built on their shoulders. Hey, my man, can I help you?
Let me get an autograph.
Nah, I ain't signing no autographs, but you get off my car.
You don't remember me, huh?
Damien. How long were you locked up?
18 years, bro. Just got out last week.
Glad to have you back out, huh?
I know I've been away a long time, but I kept myself in shape. I still got gas in the tank.
Come by the gym.
Thank you.
Curious what happened with you two?
I didn't tell you. We was like brothers. I was the best, though. But I never got a chance to prove that. That's cute.
What you doing, man? You trying to hurt me?
I know what you're doing, Donnie. You don't owe this dude nothing.
Damien's fighting the world and he's trying to hurt people.
I vouch for you. You think you mad? Try spending half your life in a cell. Watching somebody else live your life. I'm coming for everything. You threatening me?
Something is going on with you.
Damien was like family. Now we past talking.
Then maybe you just have to find him.
Do what I gotta do. Some of my methods you might disagree with me. These are family ties, I recognize mine, I know that they needed me. Traumatic stress, watch it manifest, got my only fear, I ain't scared of death. Did you hear me yet? I ain't scared of death. Did you hear me yet? What you gonna do, threaten to take my breath?
I need you to let go of your fear. Let go of the guilt. Let go of whatever was and walk into what is.
I feel those chains are breaking, yeah. I fear God, I don't fear death. I see those stripes and take a step.
Every woman who watched that trailer has just become pregnant.
What?
All that black man power. Every woman who ever saw that trailer is now just falling out and has been impregnated. So, did we need another Creed? Were we clamoring for another Creed?
You know what? No. But look how many Rocky films were made.
I'm about to say no to the first question. No to the second question. We were not clamoring for it. Did we need another one? I thought we did. I think we needed at least 3.
At least 3. So why 3? Why is 3 the magic number?
Well,
Because
because
three is the
3 is
number,
a
man.
trilogy. It's a standard trilogy. It's the movie standard that when you have a good franchise, that you got to get at least 3 stories told. You got to get at least 3 stories out of it, pulled out.
When you have
Before
a
it
trilogy,
starts to, y'all like to say, jump the shark.
trilogy is easier for you to sell the box set.
People are still buying box sets? Man, everybody streams shit now. So I get what you're saying, and I kind of understand how with this one they finally get to break free of Rocky per se. I mean, this is all still happening in the Rocky Cinematic Universe, the RCU, if you will. But this is the first one where Rocky isn't directly a part of the plot per se. Like the first one, he introduced himself to Rocky and Rocky helped train him. The second one, he was fighting the ghost of
Ivan
Rocky's
Drago.
past, Ivan Drago. This one, I guess, is the first one where this is a villain of his own standing, someone from his past, and
This
he
is
gets to
this is his Clubber Lang.
right. So, I mean, again, not at all. My youngest son is super excited about this movie. Oh, okay. How is your son super? How old is your son? Does he know about the whole Creed? So I would never know, but since it is going in a different direction than Majors being Clubber Lang's son, I'm now curious. So that's what I wanted to address also is this Clubber Lang's son. How I don't think at one point I think that they were trying to make it another connection to an old Rocky foe, but I think
That's what
this
I
is
thought it was
somebody.
supposed to be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be at one point, but I think this guy is different from the whole Rocky franchise and someone new for him to fight.
Which I think
Well,
And
he
of
was.
course, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I was gonna say, unless they just don't mention his father in the process, this was him and they were friends, as he said. This was about their childhood.
Right.
So
Right. I just think at this point, so after this one, we don't need any more. So we're good with Creed.
no, we don't need nothing else after this. I mean,
Okay.
like you said, the Rocky Cinematic Universe, we've seen everything that you can do in that thing. I mean, from a boxing perspective, they brought, the fact that I thought these were the better ones than the last 3/4 of what they did in the Rocky movie because
That's
it gave
true.
you somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I hesitated watching the first 2 because I was never a big fan of the Rocky films. But the first one, I was like, oh, okay, this actually isn't bad. And then the second one, I said, oh, okay, well, this actually isn't bad. Now, warily, I'm like, okay, now I hope that they continue along that path. But
Right. You're like, all right, now don't press your luck.
yeah, right. It's like, okay, you're really and the fact that Rocky is Sylvester Stallone was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna sit this one out. Now I'm kind of curious as to did he not feel that this plot line was up to par? Is he, even though he's helping produce it, is he not going to? Was he salty because they originally didn't want Rocky to be a part of this? I don't know, but I'm curious as
I think
to
so.
where you don't think. Okay, well, I mean,
Well,
Sylvester
I mean,
got a
I think
little.
I think with him, and especially after I'm starting to see some of the other things that he's
Uh-huh.
doing. If you look at some of the other movies that he's doing now, he
Uh-huh.
is, he's coming out of his. He's still somewhat of an action thing with
Mm-hmm.
his movies, but I think separating himself from the Creed movies is in a sense is also separating the world from his Rocky movies. And now he can stand out and do some of this stuff that he's doing. It's funny to me because it seems like he's doing more of a superhero, except his new movie that comes out on Paramount Plus, he actually is playing the bad guy. He's actually
Right.
playing a gangster. So,
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
he
think
wants to
that's what
show.
it was for him. I think he was ready to break away.
Well, he wants to show you that he's more than a pretty face. So Sylvester Stallone wants to expand his repertoire, his acting repertoire. He's done comedy. He did my Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. He's done the action thing, and
What's
now
that?
he's coming at you with I know that I brought that from way back. Yeah, with
I
Estelle
never even
Getty
heard
from
of it.
Golden Girl. Yeah, it was comedy called Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Probably one of the worst titles you could ever imagine for a film. And the film itself wasn't that much better. So yeah, so he's expanding his range, and hopefully they continue on. Hey, I never back away from seeing Tessa Thompson on screen, and Jonathan Majors. If nothing else, he got bigger, so Kang can be an even bigger threat in the
Listen, man,
upcoming
that's
Marvel
this
films.
what I had two things about this. Number one, I I know who Michael B. Jordan's trainer was for these films, but I
Uh-huh.
need to find out who is Jonathan Major's trainer because those dudes look like they chisel out of freaking rock. So they are really in good shape for this. I mean, you got to. It's a boxing movie, but it's amazing
Right.
what can be done on the time that they have.
Dude,
So
it's you
it
look at
never ceases to amaze me.
all those Marvel actors are now like super jacked. So it's like, damn, when do you have time to make the movie? Because your ass got to be in the gym 24 hours a day, don't you? But before we go any further down that rabbit hole, speaking of Marvel films, what a hell of a segue. It was announced that Harrison Ford will be Thunderbolt Ross going forward. I don't know how much forward we can go because Harrison Ford is 80 years old. So I present the question to you. Is he too old to be Thunderbolt Ross? And I ask this because when you sign a contract with Marvel, it's not just for one project. You've
Not
got
usually.
to carry this character on other platforms, other shows, other films, other TV series. And Thunderbolt Ross, in particular, being Red Hulk, is going to be a major plot line going forward. Not to mention, you've got the superhero team / supervillain team, Thunderbolts, coming out, which.
Stop spoiling shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
It's in the
That's been
name.
all over. That's
It's in
been all
the
over.
name.
That's already coming out.
Right. So anyway, back to my original point. Is he too old for this shit?
You know,
Red Hulk is mostly CGI. He can do the parts where he's Ross, and they can just kind of digitize his face on the CGI model. So I think he'll be okay. One funny thing though, did you see the interview they had with him? He was like, Marvel's basically blackmailing me to do it.
No, I didn't see the interview. What was the
Yeah,
question?
he said some crazy stuff. He said like they got me hostage, or they're gonna do this tat to me, so I gotta I gotta do it. And people were
Right.
like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm serious." He's like, "Marvel is not playing."
Wow. That's hilarious. That's
He
now
hilarious.
said they
you
already
know what?
had me as Han Solo. Now they
Right.
get me in Marvel.
Now,
I don't
John, and
know,
my statement on this though, because you actually in the description you asked two questions about him and Mahershala Ali
Yep.
playing Blade. Now,
Yep.
first off, I don't even know how old is Mahershala Ali.
48.
Oh,
Seriously?
damn! Really?
Yeah, exactly. You see what I
I
mean?
didn't. So that I didn't know. Now, Harrison Ford's character, like Rod said, one Red Hulk is going to be mostly CGI, and he's
Right.
basically taking a form of super soldier serum. So that's what it's supposed to do. They will have a body double doing all of the stunt work. Like the only stuff that you're gonna see Harrison Ford actually doing is gonna be close-up shots and conversations that when he had a little thing on his head so that they can grid his face over the Red Hulk. But other than that, he's not going to do any of the bodies. He's not going to do any of the action stuff. I mean, you figure that. But I'm more concerned about Mahershala Ali because that was. You're right. To me, I didn't realize he was that old.
Me either.
I'm thinking that should have been somebody in their 30s at worst.
So
And I'm thinking
here's my
early
thing.
to play the reboot of Blade.
No, I got you. Here's my thing with Mahershala and Harrison Ford. With Harrison Ford, I know that they'll have a body double doing his stunts as Red Hulk, but he's still got to walk around and be Thunderbolt Ross. Now, we're talking about him being Thunderbolt Ross going forward. So you mean to tell me that in another 10 years, when this man is 90 years old and they still have storylines with Thunderbolt Ross, he's going to still be walking around as Thunderbolt Ross? Because the character of Thunderbolt Ross is still a character. Red Hulk is something else altogether. Thunderbolt Ross still has to
recast.
walk, talk, act.
They got 5 years of him as Thunderbolt. That's it.
Just like
And
they
that's what I'm
should
saying. So
recast T'Challa.
he said, if plane crashes and numerous injuries on movie sets can't stop Harrison Ford, what can? And James Otis Hall, that is a very solid point. But I mean,
Right.
it for me, I guess as a fan, because Marvel does such a good job in their casting choices, I would prefer to have someone who could be Thunderbolt Ross for a minute. It seems like stunt casting to me. Like, you know what? Harrison Ford's out there. I don't doubt Harrison Ford said, I don't want to do this shit. And Marvel was like, yeah, motherfucker, we're going to hold your wife and children hostage. You better be Thunderbolt. Sign me for 5 years. Sign for 5 years.
You work for the compound now. You have no choice.
Right. It's like it's like a damn cult. I don't want to do this. Yes, you do. I don't want to do this. Yes, you do. I don't want to do this. Yes, you do. I don't want to do this. Yes, you do. I want to do this. Like after a while, you're just like, okay, you beat me into submission. With Mahershala Ali, Blade probably won't come out for another 2 years. He's going to be 50. You can't digitally put his face on.
Hold on, was it back that far? It's pushed back that far?
They they still don't have a director. They still don't have a script.
No, they don't have a script that anybody likes, do they?
That's what I'm saying. They don't have a director.
Yeah, he
they
didn't
don't have
even
a
like the
script.
script. Yeah.
The initial matter of fact, they not only pushed back Blade, they pushed back everything else because Marvel movies are so intertwined. All this shit has been pushed back. So you're looking at 6 months to 3 to 6 months of just fucking pre-production, him getting in shape, him learning how to fight. Then you've got 6-7 months of filming wherever they're filming. So that's at least a year and a half. So yeah, he's damn near going to be 50 when this film comes out. So now it's now.
But John, here's my thing with that.
What?
Oh, I mean, I think when you look at, if you really think about it, though, when you look at people like a Wesley Snipes, like a Michael Jai White, who are actually older than him, you could still see them doing those parts because they continue to practice. They continue to work out. They stay in that. I think because of the fact that we don't look at it, he's more of he's not an action star. That's not what we're accustomed to him with. And so I think that's the only reason that you're getting those questions based on his age. But just like you were just talking about, you get into Marvel movies, huh?
Wesley Snipes is 60.
Right. That's what I mean. If I'm not mistaken, Michael John White is either close to 60 or he's knocking. He's either 60 or he's knocking on the door too. And but you see those two, you would like if they said they were gonna. You know what? This first Blade movie, we're gonna recast Wesley Snipes. Nobody would have had a problem with that. Nobody would question what he's doing because he's still out there, especially after that last Expendables movie he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's the problem with Mahershala is just we're not used to him being an action hero, and so we got to see is he going to get that same Jack Marvel look that they give all these other guys.
So Blade came out in '98, which is a little over 20 years ago. So that puts Wesley in his 40s, mid 40s maybe.
Yeah, when that came out.
Yeah.
If you're saying he's 60 now, right, Rod?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if Kevin has developed MCU technology that has, oh Lord, to capture voice and face to use 10 years to come? You know what? I wouldn't doubt James Otis Hall. I don't doubt Kevin Feige has some contingency plans on this shit.
No, he didn't say Kevin Feige. He said Kevin.
I know what he said, but it just seems that, and this is no shade to Mahershala Ali because I want to see him in this role. Matter of fact, I want to see Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. I think he'd kill it. It's just that I wonder, whatever voodoo, maybe Mephisto is running Marvel now, but whatever voodoo that they have that keeps these actors working past their physical primes, I'm wondering when that's going to run out. Because how old is Paul Rudd still running around playing Ant-Man? Because it's just like he's been around forever as well. Paul Rudd is 53.
Paul Rudd? Yeah, I was going to say he's in his 50s.
So
Ant-Man was never. But Ant-Man doesn't seem to be he's not really a physical hero. I mean, in the sense, you get what I'm saying? I mean, when we think about him, Ant-Man ain't out here having too many fights. He's not physically battling people in that sense. And when he is, he's in his large form. At least not to me, he doesn't. I mean, think about how many fights he had compared to the Wasp.
He's still no, the Wasp. Regardless of, and I see what you're saying because the character of Blade is a lot more physical than the character of Ant-Man.
More physically demanding.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's still physically demanding because you still have an instance where you're running and jumping. And you do have fight scenes. Ant-Man don't fight too many times, but he does fight. And he's not going to kick somebody upside the head like Blade would, but he still is still a very physical, demanding role. So and this is me being worried about actors who are making millions of dollars to stay in shape and look good. So I know the general public says,
well,
fuck,
let me ask
but
you this. Do you think that they're going to maintain the martial arts skill set that Wesley Snipes brought to Blade, or do you think they're going to let that go?
If they don't, people are going to be sorely disappointed.
If they don't, what?
They're going to have to maintain that that martial arts ability in this new film. Look, you saw what Blade was about in that first scene in the first movie. In the club. Right? That first scene that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. But that first scene with the bloodbath. And he's
100%.
he's in the club and everybody looks at him and says the Daywalker and tries to haul ass. Because you know what's about to happen. And when you see him fighting, you see him getting down, you're like, okay, I understand this dude. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't kick you, he's going to stab you or shoot you.
The athletic martial arts and fighting is the character of Blade at this point. Wesley Snipes has defined that character. And if he isn't as physical as Wesley Snipes, there's going to be a real problem. And I think that's probably why, hopefully, that's why they cast him, is because he is a dynamic actor, but also because physically during that
He's
screen
able to
test, there
carry
had
him.
to be some kind of flying kick or backflip that he had to do in order to be cast in the role. Blade runs around with shades 90% of the time, so pretty easy to stunt double a lot of the time. Ha ha ha! Okay, James Otisall, touche.
Oh, I
But
believe that's what they're going to do. I mean, listen,
okay, so
we talked to our boy China McCoy how many times, and the fact that I found out that his ass did all of the martial arts stuff for Morpheus,
oh, he did?
I was like, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
You're being facetious, right?
No, I'm not. I'm being Uncle
Yeah, that was
John.
the whole thing. Yeah, he was the body double. All of the martial arts stuff that you saw Lawrence Fishburne do in the first two
In the
Matrix
Matrix.
movies was him.
Oh, I thought you said Morbius. You said Morpheus.
Oh no, Morpheus in
He
the
was
Matrix.
Morpheus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Morbius, really? They had him be a skinny white man. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that would
Now I
have been
understand.
something.
Now I understand your surprise. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, he's the best actor I've ever seen in my life to play to turn off playing Jared Leto. But before we go any further down that rabbit hole, if all hearts and minds are clear on that particular subject, I was going to, what we don't do on the show enough is have a gaming report. And I was hoping Percy or Uncle DJ would be here so we could have some kind of discussion about games. I'm not a game player. I had an Xbox back in the day, and I had the football NFL Madden, and I would play that, and that's all I played. But Uncle Rod, if you would mind giving us a gaming report of some kind, what are you playing right now?
Well, right now I'm playing a couple of things actually. I'm playing Warframe, which is free to play online. It's what's normally called a looter shooter, where you run around and shoot things and you collect things. They have Warframe is out for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's also, I believe, it's also out for the Switch at this point. And one thing that Digital Extremes, the company that created Warframe, one of the things that they're doing, which I think is revolutionary, is that they are creating cross-platform play. And they're making it so that you not only could you play with people with different systems, but they're also making it so that you can play on your mobile device.
Oh,
So
shit.
in addition to the game systems in PC, you're going to be able to play with people who are playing on their cell phones. So hopefully they can get that rolling, and they can be successful in that, because once they do it, that means other people will have no excuse and they can do it as well. So you don't have people worrying about not having the right system and not being able to play online with their friends and whatnot. So but basically in Warframe, you create, or not really create, you control a battle suit, which is called a frame, and there's more than 50 frames out right now, I believe, and each one is specialized in different types of attacks or defenses or what have you, and you go on different missions throughout space, and it's set in the far future. So it's
And
really,
you say
really
it's
cool.
free?
Free to play. Yep.
Wow. So my guess would be, and again, I'm being the old fogey, being free to play that it's kind of whack. Is that
No,
it's kind of
absolutely
cheap?
not.
Does it? Okay.
Absolutely
Okay.
not. It is well made. It looks good. Sounds good. Initially, like, I was one of the first people to download it when it was in the beta phase, and I totally forgotten that I downloaded it to my
Oh,
Xbox.
damn.
Yeah, and a few months later down the line, and people were talking about Warframe, and I was like, man, that sounds familiar. I think I downloaded that shit. So then I went back and looked on my Xbox, and I was, sure enough, there it was. So and then I started getting into it, and like I said, it's easy to get into, and so there's very little initial learning curve in terms of the mechanics.
Got it.
So it's really easy to get into, and in no time you'll be wanting to collect frames. And see, what it is that they have a lot of little mini systems within the game, And
Okay.
in order for you to acquire different frames, well, as you go throughout missions, you get blueprints for the pieces,
Hmm.
and then you
Okay.
make the pieces in your foundry, which is on your ship, your spaceship.
Hmm.
You collect
Okay.
materials, and then you use your foundry to build the pieces. When you have the blueprints, and then you create the frame essentially. So anybody
Okay.
can get any frame in the game if you do the proper missions, basically.
Right. Right.
But I will say that there is a part where you can pay if you're impatient and don't want to go through the game and build the frame. You can outright buy the frame from their store with real money, but it's not necessary. So it's not. So it's
Okay.
not play. It's not pay to win. It's definitely not pay to
Ah,
win. Anything you outright pay for is pretty much cosmetic.
nice.
Or
Huh.
or
Okay.
there's nothing that you can't get in game that people would pay real money for. So
Right.
there's that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rod, did you watch the TV show G4?
I used to love G4 when it was on when it was on DirecTV. And
Okay.
then they went away and then they came back.
Right.
I remember G4 when they had Attack of the Show and they had Tech TV and Adam
Right.
Sessler and Morgan Webb were on the show, and that pretty much launched the career of man, what's her name? She used to date Aaron Rodgers. She was Psylocke in the X-Men Apocalypse.
Olivia Nunn?
Olivia Munn. Yep, she was on there.
Munn, I'm sorry. Oh
Yeah,
wow. And now she's directing movies and dating men who are way too young for her. Okay. So her career started on G4.
that's where I first saw her.
Oh
Attack
wow.
of the Show.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep,
Interesting. Okay.
yep.
So now how does that affect the gaming industry? Because G4 was specifically geared towards the gaming industry, right?
Right. Unfortunately, and I don't know why, but for some reason, gamer centric programming on television, it really hasn't done that well. Um,
Uh-huh.
Maybe because usually any kind of reviews that anyone will want to see, you can pretty much find it on YouTube because somebody has made a YouTube of it. Um, I think that maybe I know at one point, when Tech TV changed to G4, and it was
Uh-huh.
really gamer centric. That's when it really wasn't as accessible as it used to be because I think like right after that, I couldn't catch it on any kind of TV I had, um, and it was only on like certain cable hookups or what have you. So I think that
Right.
hurt it. Um,
Okay.
and I don't know. It seems like they should have been really plugged into the gaming community to be able to give the gamers what they want. And me myself as a gamer, I know what I would want. I would want reviews of games. I would want
Right.
maybe walkthroughs or hints of some sort. I would want interviews with people in the industry, which they kind of did. I'm really not quite sure as to why it wasn't as successful as I think it should have been.
Well, I think what was happening, and from the reports I read, was that it just wasn't profitable for whatever um, production company, studio, whatever was producing the show. It wasn't profitable. Then they brought it back because
Right.
they just wanted to give it another chance. And then, like you said, now they the world we live in is funny right now because if I'm working hard at a job and email is leaked to me, oh by the way, they're about to fire your ass, I wouldn't be very happy. But that's
Correct.
how they found out that it was going away again. That the email was leaked that the company said, you know what, this isn't pulling in the profit like you used to. And I guess the numbers were down even from when it first started. The current revival, they couldn't
Mm,
bring back the numbers that they had. So they just said, fuck it,
I,
we're gonna let
I
it
think
go.
I think it would have been hard for them to pull those numbers because they weren't as accessible as they were before.
So now
Like I said,
how
I,
did
I
you
have
watch this?
DirecTV. I couldn't get it.
So it was
The
only showing
new
on DirecTV?
No. It was on DirecTV, and then it went away. When it went
Right.
away the first time,
Uh-huh.
and after that, when it came back, I couldn't watch it. I think it was on Xfinity, maybe. It was on anybody who had Xfinity,
Ah,
which is like, and maybe Uverse, maybe.
Oh shit! Ain't nobody watching that shit. So it wasn't available. It wasn't available to everybody. It was basically you had to subscribe to this particular um, service,
As
and
far
then
as
you
I
could
know,
watch
like
it.
I don't know if they had like a I don't know if they had like a streaming outlet, some way to do that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure, but I know that as accessible to me as it was before.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know I'm not by myself in that. But
No.
also I know that just before it left the first time that's actually the first channel I watched Ninja Warrior on.
Ah.
And
Okay.
I was like,
Ah.
why is
Okay.
this on
Okay.
a gaming channel? So I think that was
Right.
kind of like the beginning of the end. They were trying to scramble and trying to find stuff to put on their channel. You know what I mean?
Got it.
And it was weird
Got it.
because that was like right around the time MTV stopped showing videos, and they
Man,
went all in on the reality foolishness.
that's a whole
Yeah,
nother fucking episode.
MTV has 4 channels and 5 channels, and 2 of them show videos.
They do. So
The
they do
main
still
the
show
main
videos.
channel the main channel does not show videos. The
Uh-huh.
main MTV,
At
which
all.
stands for music television, does not show fucking music videos.
Well, the last time I watched MTV, it was either I was watching either Wild and Out or Ridiculousness, and they showed like blocks of these shows, like 7 hours
Yeah,
worth of
7
these
episodes
shows.
at a time. Yep.
It's like, what the fuck? Do people? So yeah, so YouTube has killed MTV and G4, pretty much is what you're saying.
But it didn't necessarily have to be like that though, because people still make videos. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? It's not like they don't make them
but
anymore.
it's so much more accessible now because like you said where people will go to G4 for reviews of games. Now you got Twitch, you got YouTube, all this different ways to assess this information. Back in the day, we could only see Thriller on MTV, or we could only see
Correct.
like When Doves Cry on MTV, and then the other stations, music video stations, would pop up. And then with the advent of YouTube, now at the click of a button, I can watch the video I want to watch. And that was the thing also before. You'd have to sit there. Okay, I'm waiting
Right.
for this video. I'm waiting for this video. Ah, there it is. Oh, now it's gone. Now I gotta wait for it again. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
I think some people do tune in for the interaction with the host of a show.
That's true.
And
That's
if you can
true.
get if you can get a really I think if you get a really good host and you get really good
Uh-huh.
guests, I think it would be really um profitable. I think it would work. If you could get something like a combination of Drink Champs and show videos, I think it would be great. Have you ever watched the show Drink
If
Champs?
I have seen Drink Champs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's again a whole nother show. I think
So for the 12 people
Yo
watching the
MTV.
show,
Uh-huh.
I just gave a
I
great
think
idea out there. Run with
you really did. I think Yo MTV Raps would be good. Would be another platform for them that they could use. I mean, talking
it. Yo
about what has
MTV Raps
killed
came
these
back.
shows
Yo MTV Raps came back.
is but from
It's
since you're using
on
the
one of
past tense.
it's on one of the hidden MTV stations that no one knows about.
I was shocked when you
Okay,
said
so
4. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I knew
yeah,
Yes,
MTV and VH1. I'm like,
MTV, MTV2, MTV Jams, um, and something else. There's one other one.
okay. You know, we truly are being grumpy old nerds right now. Talking about back in the day when MTV actually showed videos.
showed
Listen,
music
man,
videos.
that I don't
Well,
care what
it
anybody
is.
says. That time was lovely.
It was. Oh man, I was watching some '90s videos, some '90s music videos, and I was just like, "This was really a golden age. The '90s was a
Rump
golden age
Shaker,
in black music." Oh, come
Rump
on.
Shaker, Rex and Effect.
You had,
Hey, listen,
but think about it.
listen, John, hold up, hold
I'm
up.
so
When Rump Shaker first debuted, I got on the phone and I called Roy. I called a few other frat brothers. I was like, "Yo, turn on Video Soul right now, bitch. You have to see this."
No, you absolutely right. That shit was
No,
that
hold
shit
up.
was out like.
Wait. Hold up. But
Uh-oh.
just think about the first experience of of BET Uncut. I'm working overnight at a youth home, and I'm sitting on the couch at 12, and I'm watching the Tavis Smiley show. I fall asleep and
You fall
wake
asleep
up,
and wake up
and I'm
to
looking
ass
at
in
this
your face.
video. Right. It looks like a straight porno. And you know how you sit there
Nelly,
and you're
tip
rubbing your eyes
drill.
like you're dreaming or some shit? Like, wait a
Yep.
minute.
I was
What
gonna
the
say
hell?
that. I was gonna say that, Rod. I was gonna say that.
Nelly, tip drill.
Oh my
That was it.
god. Yeah.
Yes, it
I'm,
was.
dude, I'm
Yes,
sitting
it
up here
was.
looking at the TV. I'm looking at the TV like I'm dreaming. Like, I have to be dreaming. This shit is not on TV.
Lord have
Yeah, it
mercy.
is.
Oh,
I was like, oh
so
my God.
yeah. So I mean, you look at the evolution of this, and tying this all back to G4 shutting down. You look at the evolution of all this, and the fact that we actually can access this other stuff without having to sit there. You've got the world at the tips of your fingers, and you can access whatever you want to, whenever you want to.
Yep.
That's the big
The
difference.
days
Yeah.
of MTV and G4. I mean, I don't see how who's watching ridiculousness on a 7-hour loop. I don't see how that's even profitable at this
It's
point.
I
on
don't
in
know
the
what that
it's
is.
on in the background. Listen, it's on in the background in people's houses while they drink and get high. That's what it is.
Between that and Wild and Out, I have to I would have to believe that that's the case. I can't
Yeah,
see
James Otis. Yeah,
how.
how do you want it exactly? Jodeci and Tupac.
Right,
See,
right,
now,
right,
John,
right.
now I'm going to have to go pull up a couple of videos after we get off the show.
Oh Lord.
That was Adina Howard calling you, talking about freak like me.
Nah, I liked Adina Howard. I ain't gonna front. That was my cut. Her, yeah. Okay, so now that we've gone completely off the rails with that particular subject, the trailer for the final season, I believe this is the final season of Star Trek Picard, has come about. Can we check that out, Roy, if you don't mind?
Si, senors.
This message is for Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. We need your help.
I need to find the ship. We need to find a ship. Now, I can't ask you to put yourself in danger. Since when? Jean-Luc, wherever you go, we go. Hello, beautiful. Permission to come aboard, Commander.
Permission granted, sirs. Welcome to the Titan.
Why don't you do us the honor, Commander?
Engage.
Speaking of getting old, Patrick Stewart has to be like 90 at this point, doesn't he?
But you know what? So you know it's funny you say that because I was sitting here thinking that LeVar Burton and Jonathan Frakes look like the only two that didn't get old.
Right.
It's like the rest of them look like they're old. You don't see Michael Dorn, and besides he's Worf, so of course they're gonna put all his prosthetic stuff on. But those two look like Riker gray. His beard just got gray, you know. Until LeVar Burton just looked like Kunta Kinte who grew up and got some weight on him and shit, you know.
Oh Lord. Right. Right.
But speaking of that, something funny side note, but I'm not worried about that right now. Just a random thought. It's interesting though. I am interested to see this one because they're gonna have LeVar Burton's character has two daughters in this one, and his biological daughter is playing one of his daughters in the show.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
I am but a peripheral Star Trek fan. There's just too much Star Trek shit out there. Every time if I ever turn on the Paramount Network, there's like 5 different Star Trek shows that are currently running.
Oh, dude, you watch Star Trek for a minute.
Yeah. So to a Star Trek, Rod, I mean Roy, I know you're a Star Trek fan. I don't know, Rod, if you're that deep into Star Trek as well. Is this
I'm not that
something
deep
that we're
into it.
Okay. So Roy, I'm asking you, is this
I would not
something
call
that we're
myself a
looking
Trekkie.
forward? There you go. Is this
Oh,
something?
hell
Are we
yeah.
looking forward to this? Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. And so the main reason that people are looking forward to this is because the next generation crew was the impetus. I'm trying to use one of the big SAT words. Was the catalyst for this new generation of Star Wars fans. When they did the next generation, it changed everything. And so these are the characters. These core characters are the people who reset the entire Star Trek universe. And so that was the thing. And so you had to bring all of those people back. Like I'm expected to see Will Wheaton in a Q type role in something because that's what he was supposed to be.
Well, he's a traveler now, right?
Right. So that's the thing. So no, this is, believe me, I guarantee you, of all the things that they've done, this will be the most watched season of any Star Trek thing in the past 5 years with this crew.
I was gonna say, like I said, I am but a peripheral Star Trek fan, but I'll watch this because I'm curious as to how the characters are developed, how they bring them in. I'm really digging it. I want to check it out. So Roy, someone who's not that deep into Star Trek as well, but I'm sure you know like the general idea. Rod, yeah. Are you looking forward to this as well?
I think it's really a cool idea to bring back the old Next Generation crew. To ride out with them on this last season. So that to me, because even though I wasn't like a real hardcore Trekkie, I'm still familiar with a lot of the concepts in Star Trek, and I used to watch it the Next Generation a lot, as well as the original series. So I think for me, that point of nostalgia would make me definitely tune in.
Okay.
And watch this last season.
It's interesting. I'm trying to see who it was that made the comment. They were saying that they didn't like the first 2 seasons of Picard, which is interesting to me because I actually thought the second season, especially, I thought they did a really, really good job of tying new characters into the history and nostalgia of the show. Yeah, I mean, I think Picard is I think it's a good show, like I said, based on the fact of how it ties in the past.
Okay.
And then I would look at Discovery and say, to me, Discovery is the culmination or the great look at what the future could have been. The fact that they had the whole thing with the burn that kind of killed Starfleet, and now they're having to bring Starfleet back. Them that
Right.
was like crazy to me when they traveled to the future, and because you would always think that Starfleet was going to be this big, massive thing that would be
Okay.
around, and then all of a sudden you get to the future, and people are like fuck Starfleet, who so.
Okay, I'm bringing this up because I have read reviews of the first 2 seasons of Picard, and people are saying that they weren't very good. And it seems like this season, that's just kind of like an audience grab to say, you know what, we tried to distance ourselves from Next Generation. That didn't work out too good. So let's bring everybody back. So
That's
the
smart.
audience will come back. I agree, but it's bringing people like me in because I definitely want to watch it just because I want to see what they do. And like I said, I've seen
Me too.
episodes of Next Generation. Not a big fan. Someone said in the comments that DS9 was the best. I
It
tend to
was.
agree.
Yeah.
And that seems to
Roy
be the
agreed.
general
Okay.
consensus, right?
Oh no, I
But
do.
yeah,
I've always said that I thought Deep Space Nine was the best one. I thought that I think the only reason I put Cisco as my number 2 captain. Only reason that was because I don't think they gave him enough story that they should have. Because the first 2 seasons were a wash because he still had hair and it just looked real goofy. Those whole first 2 seasons with him. And then, because Avery Brooks should not be in a movie with hair. That's just one of those things.
I agree.
He just doesn't even feel right. And then when they were able to give him some deeper stories, like that whole war situation that they were dealing with, and him being the leader of them, they should have carried that out for another 2 or 3 seasons, and they could have. And I think they didn't. I think they canceled the show because they didn't want some people didn't want the black captain becoming the top rung captain. And for the Star Trek pantheon of movies. But yeah, I don't think they gave him enough in his character thing because Jean-Luc Picard's character is Patrick Stewart. Again, it was such a different situation because they added families to the starship. It's like they did so many of the things that they did with Next Generation. So now you're able to bring all that back and you kind of circle all those. So as you say, circle the wagons and get people in there, man. But yeah, I mean, DS9 was the best show overall because I think it dealt with a lot more issues. One of the things that they did do with the Next Generation, which I'm going to be interested to see what they do in this season, if they address any of it. They made several episodes where they did go into the future, and have to engage either with themselves. There was one episode in particular. It was a series of 3 episodes. I can't remember what the name of it is, but Picard was time jumping, and Hewitt basically set him up to. He was about to cause the end of destruction of every damn thing, and everything was converging at this one nexus point, and
Hate when
Picard was
that
bouncing
happens.
back and forth. You're right. And so they went through a lot of different things. Like in this, if you look at it the way they did it in the first 2 seasons of this show, which I don't know if it's because of what happened last season, how things have changed. But like Riker and Deanna Troi are together. And in one of the episodes, and one of the things a lot of people don't remember is actually at the end of Star Trek The Next Generation, Troi was with Worf. And then they ended up, at the end of the series, they were, that's why he left. I think that's why he left and went to Deep Space Nine, because he ended up being with Dax after that. But he was there, and they had gone to the future in one of those episodes, and him and Riker were at odds with each other. They basically like each other because Riker took Deanna back in that timeline. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm real curious to see what they do with it.
So, okay. You're the Star Trek aficionado of this show, Roy. What's the worst Star Trek TV show?
Voyager.
Damn. He didn't even hesitate.
Not at all. Voyager. Yeah.
Okay. So why is it that we can't get Avery Brooks to reprise that role?
From what we were hearing, I don't know, man. Well, I don't know what his health is like right now. We were talking to Sarah, and some of that offline stuff, the conversations that we were having. I'm not sure because I would love to see them. I would love to see that crew come back. Well, actually,
Do
all
he
of
and
them can't
Siraj
come
still
back
talk?
because Odo was there. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how
That
many
was James
seasons was that show on? How many seasons was DS9 on?
DS9 had to be on for at least 7 seasons. I think it was 9 though.
Okay. So he basically grew up on that set with that man playing his dad.
He did. That's what he talked about.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. Well, if all hearts and minds. So, okay. Roy is definitely looking forward to it. Me and Rod are just kind of like, we'll check it out just to see.
Yeah, it
how
is
old
what it
they look.
is.
Yeah.
They had 7 seasons. Yep.
7 seasons. Okay. Well, if we're done jumping down that rabbit hole, the trailer for Titans season 4 has also dropped. Roy, if you would do the honors, please.
I'm gonna say something about Titans after we watch this trailer.
Hold on, what was TOS? Oh, the original series.
The original series.
Somebody said the original series was the worst.
Damn.
Hide it.
They can't hide it from me.
Whatever happened here, they want to hide it.
They can't hide it from me.
Who are you?
Rachel! What did you see?
We should not have come to Metropolis.
The Temple of Azeroth is now yours. Welcome to the ancient world, Mr. Luther. Soon the gods will know your name.
I can assure you, the gods already know me. Connor, this is Lex Luthor. I'd like to meet in person.
Luther got caught up in the occult. He's the only man Bruce Wayne was ever afraid of. Superman's not afraid of him. Neither am I. You should be. We're dealing with the supernatural, and that scares me. My name is Jinx.
And this is the person we're going to for help? Good magic versus bad magic.
Dick Grayson, deal maker extraordinaire. Hard pass.
Okay, I don't know whatever all this is, but we do need your help.
The world is a brutal place. We're all so alone. What are you doing? Stop!
I know you, Sebastian. I know what's in your heart.
Who the hell are you?
It's just a hunch, but I'm gonna assume she's a bad guy.
Ever since we got to Metropolis, strange things have been happening to me.
They're trying to tell me something.
I can hear everything that people here say about me. They will never let me forget what I am.
Like father, like son. You're a part of our family. And if you leave, it's gonna hurt us.
Wait a minute, was that Slade? Was he in the first season?
He was in the second season.
Oh, okay.
Titans. Yeah. This show, well, since it's moved to HBO Max, I think it's kind of picked up steam. When it was when it was on whatever DC was calling that thing or whatever, it seemed like it was kind of stumbling out. It was kind of stumbling out the gate. But It seems like it's picked up steam. The same core group of characters is there. You see them, change as time goes on or what have you. But going into Metropolis, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. They lost me when I saw Bruce Wayne in the show. When Bruce Wayne was, I can't remember the guy's name, but I call him, when he was on Game of Thrones, I call him Lord Friendzone, because he was always, wanting to. He fell in love with Daenerys, and Daenerys was giving him the time of day, right? But anyway, when I saw that he was Bruce Wayne, and they wanted me to believe that that guy was Batman, I said, okay, this is why I get off. You just messed me up. Everything else is cool, but I that kind of stopped it for me. But when they came in with the Red Hood storyline, I thought when they introduced the character of Jason Todd, I was like, I understand that Jason Todd is supposed to be kind of like the antithesis of Dick Grayson, but Jason Todd, I wanted somebody to kill Jason Todd. That's how bad he was acting.
Wow.
I was like, this dude deserves to
Damn.
get killed. I was like,
Holy shit.
this guy. I understand he was supposed to be abrasive and grating like that, but that dude was like way on the other end of it for me. So, but I'm glad to see that it's still rolling strong. I'm glad to see that they've developed, the characters kind of more in line with the comic, which is cool as well. But if you're gonna be in Metropolis now, you know what they're gonna say. You got Metropolis and you got Lex Luthor, but you have Superboy Connor Kent. You're gonna tell me that Superman is not gonna show up at some point in this season?
So
Well, I
I
think they have to.
guess
They've already teased it.
You
I
cannot go to
guess
Metropolis and start shit and not have Superman show up with Lex Luthor being involved in it.
so.
Well, maybe he's
I
on the mission
guess
off time.
my when I tried to watch this show, I really did, and I watched the first 3 episodes, and I guess I need to preface this by saying I am a diehard New Teen Titans comic book fan, and I loved the team that George Perez and Marv Wolfman introduced back in the 80s. A team, by the way, that was on par in popularity with the X-Men. The X-Men, until the Marvel movies came out, the X-Men was the premier team and the most popular team book in the Marvel universe until the movies came out. So I have a particular affinity
They fucked around and made a
towards
movie.
I have a particular affinity for the new Teen Titans, and what they did with the Titans to me, and again, I am a grumpy old nerd. What they did to the new Teen Titans in this show, at least in the first season, was total fucking blasphemy to me, because it didn't represent the comic book that I loved. And it seemed like they were giving us, like, one of Robin's first lines is "fuck Batman, fuck Batman."
Right.
Okay, so you want to show that this show is edgy, and you want to show that he's trying to step away from the character of Batman. I get that, but let's have some character development as opposed to just throwing out a cuss word just for shock and awe. I didn't like that the black woman looked like a hooker with her short skirt and little small fur jacket. She looked like a hoe. I didn't appreciate
That's what you're
that.
concerned about.
It was. I mean, like, for real. They made.
Have you seen Starfire's costume in the comic?
I'm about to say, John.
But she wasn't. But she wasn't a black woman. She wasn't a black woman in the comic. On the
She was
TV
orange,
show,
yeah.
even though she's an alien, she's an alien black woman, and I didn't appreciate that shit. That's just me. Maybe I'm
I
being
can
too
feel
blackity
that
black.
one, John. I can feel you on that one.
I may be too blackety black, but I thought that was kind of out there.
And
And
actually, I
yes,
remember when you
Starfire.
first talked about that. Too.
Yes, and yes, Starfire is a sex pot in the comics. Granted, that's male fantasies at its finest. Okay, we get it. But to make her a black woman and put her out there like that, I felt was unnecessary. And the fact that Beast Boy could only change into a tiger reeked of, we're gonna put this show out there, but we ain't got all the money for the special effects. So Beast Boy can only turn into a tiger, and he only turns green when he's turning into this tiger. He's not, otherwise he's just a regular random pale faced kid. It was like, and
Wow.
we put Cyborg on Doom Patrol,
I was
which
just about to ask.
there's no fucking reason why to put Cyborg with the Doom Patrol. Why? What the fuck? Yeah, that was like, you know what? We need a black kid on Doom Patrol. Cyborg's available. Let's go.
That's you know what? I remember asking you that question because I was really confused. Because like I had never before the show started, I had never heard of Doom Patrol. And I'm thinking to myself, like when I saw Cyborg, I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't he one of the Titans? And they were just like, okay, yeah, it was. That's another reason I never watched him. That I never watched Doom Patrol because I'm like, why is Cyborg in this show?
Exactly. So, I mean, it just seemed like they took what made the new Teen Titans so popular, and they said, you know what? Let's fuck, as DC and Warner Brothers are prone to do. Let's fuck with it. We had a winning formula, but let's fuck with it. Okay, so Rod, you're saying that the show has right. Rod, you're saying that the show has gotten better, which is good. I'm happy. And Brother Blood is a type of character that lends itself to the horror movie vibe, which is what they're going for this season. Right. But like you said, why? But again, you've got the storyline, you've got the characters. I don't know if Beast Boy can change into anything else other than a tiger now, and why they chose tiger, who fucking knows? But why is it
maybe they
necessary?
had CGI left over to do that with?
Right. Why is it necessary to bring in Lex Luthor and Connor Kent? You're right. I'd better see Superman this season, because if I don't, that's just stupid. How are you going to have Lex Luthor, who is Superman's arch enemy, and not have Superman? That's stupid. And isn't
because
Connor,
he's part of Connor's DNA. He's half of Connor's DNA.
Right, but the other half is
Superman. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, right. So you got to have him. If you're going to have Lex, you got to have Superman. I mean,
see, I don't want this to fall into the trap level like Gotham, where you have all these Batman villains and they're doing their thing, but you don't have Batman. Like, to me, that was the most infuriating thing about Gotham. It was like, you could have done, like, the first season of Gotham could have been exactly what it was. Then the next season could have been Bruce Wayne as a teenager or as a young adult, showing him, after the death of his parents, whatnot. And now he's starting to become Batman as a young man, not still as a little kid, right? And then the third season, you actually, hey, there you go, Batman. Now you segue that into an actual Batman show, which they were going to start, and then they said maybe not, and then they said nah, we're gonna do it. By the way, so right. So I think it was too much of the same thing, and that's what I'm hoping is not gonna go down that way with Titans.
Dude, you know what, because Brother Blood is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite Titan villains, I'll watch it. But again, it looks like you've got a bunch of characters that DC said, you know what, let's just throw all these motherfuckers out there, and whoever sticks, and whoever doesn't. And fuck it, we'll just see what happens. I don't understand.
Really quick.
Go say it again, Roy.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, really quick, as I was looking at the time, I didn't see on your list anything. You didn't mention anything about Black Adam coming out this weekend.
Black Adam comes out tomorrow night.
Yeah.
For the advanced screenings
Now,
start Thursday.
what's upsetting is that I've read some reviews for Black Adam.
Already?
Yes. And there's a
I've
reason
seen
why
the
I didn't bring up
teaser.
Black Adam.
I've seen the teaser. I mean, not the Easter egg or the stinger in the after credits,
I believe we all have.
and I'm
Wait,
like,
no, there's after credits out.
Yes.
yeah. James Otis Hall says no Andor Love, the best show on TV.
Oh, James
James,
Otis Hall. I beg to
James,
differ.
we are going to revoke a Star Wars card from you if you have one by making that statement. This is the
Oh
worst.
man,
That is the worst, most plot. How do you make a movie and then make a follow up to the movie about the past of one of the characters and totally go from the damn history you established for the character in the damn movie? How do you do
Wait.
that?
Let's finish talking about DC,
Black
and
Adam,
then we're
Black
going to talk
Adam, Black
about and then we'll talk
Okay.
about. So okay, Titans. I'm gonna try this season. I'm gonna try the season because I like Brother Blood. Black Adam. I think the problem with Black Adam right now, and Dwayne Johnson went on the Tonight Show and all but spoiled what the teaser is going to be, what the end credits scene is. And I think he knows this movie isn't very good. And I think he knows, like, I need to get people to come see this end credit scene. And the end credit scene has actually leaked online.
Well,
Do
I
you
am
think?
actually
Okay,
I am on YouTube now, and apparently it has him standing there face to face with Henry Cavill. So,
come on, man.
oh, dude. He just said it's online.
Wait. I was hoping he wouldn't say it, and then when he did, I knew Rod was going to lose.
Oh,
Rod hates when we do that. Rod hates
Let people
I
make up their
mean,
own minds whether or not they want to be pissed about this or not.
dude, that's like, hold up, listen, Ron, hold up.
Oh.
That has to be like the worst kept secret in anything ever, because they've already stated that Henry Cavill's coming back. The Rock has already stated, I don't know how many countless times, that you were going to see him and Superman fight. They're trying to bring this to the point where they have literally changed the story where they're trying to make him the Killmonger / Loki of the DC universe, where he's a sympathetic villain at first, but he's actually coming back as an anti-hero to actually become a hero. We knew this. We knew Dwayne Johnson was not going to play a villain the entire time in his time in there. There's going to have to be some confrontation between him and Superman. We knew that. This is not a surprise, bruh.
Rod is just seething, right? Rod is so undone. I just want to put it on record that Rod, I wasn't going to say it. I was just going to build up to it. I wasn't going to say it.
Damn.
I didn't know it was out there, so I searched it on YouTube. I'm like, y'all should have
Okay,
told me it
search
was
it
out
on
there.
YouTube and
Hell.
shut the hell up. Just search it on YouTube and look at it and don't say nothing.
Oh, God. That is
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah, no, that would happen.
So,
Oh,
okay,
man.
so having said all of
anyway.
that, we're not gonna acknowledge what Roy just said.
Yeah,
but
forget that I said that, y'all.
I say that I think Dwayne Johnson is nervous that this movie isn't very good. That's what I say. So, I mean, please out there, go to the theater, see it for yourself. Check out the end credit scene, which we will not speak of ever again.
If
And
they're banking on him to kind of be like the new linchpin or the new base for the relaunching of the DC universe, cinematic universe, this better be good. It's got to be at least a
It has
B
to.
minus film. It's
The
got to be at least a
next
B minus film.
two, the next 2 to 3 DC films are going to be crucial because if they suck now, and let me tell you this: not only does Black Adam have to be good, but if the Flash sucks and they put all their eggs in the Ezra Miller basket, DC is all but done.
I
I'm
thought they
calling it
decided not
now.
to run that one though. Did
No,
they change their
they
mind?
haven't
They're going to bring
decided.
it out.
They haven't decided at all. Now you've
They
got
haven't said
Issa
one thing
Rae
one way
out
or the
there
other.
talking about. You've got Issa Rae out there talking about. Yeah, she. They've got like cult leader rapist type motherfuckers leading their films, and they still want to push these films out there. So, which she's right. Ezra Miller is completely out of their mind,
So what
and you
happened to
know,
Ava? Did they completely cut Ava DuVernay out and let her go from the New God stuff?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
she's not doing New
New
Gods
Gods is.
anymore.
But at the end of the day, do you really want her to do New Gods? Because she had Naomi, a project that was her passion project, and I love Ava DuVernay, and well, I'm not a big fan of the character of Naomi, but that show was weak. That show was whack. It
We gotta get
didn't hold my attention.
Dawn on here to talk about Naomi.
We should. We should. You're right. You're right. You're right. So, but I believe that we've hit our mark for the evening. Uncle Rod, anything you want to leave the people with before we jet out of here?
Go see Black Adam, and then later on in a couple of weeks, go see Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
Go see it more than
Yes.
once.
Yes.
I'm not spoiling the end of that shit.
You know something I don't
Go
know?
see it.
He ain't gonna tell you. He'll tell it. Uncle Roy,
And I
anything you want to
called
leave
what
people with?
was going to happen a long time ago. So hopefully, I'm still in the running for what I said was going to happen in Wakanda Forever.
There you go.
We'll see.
I got you. Uncle Roy, what you got? What's coming up on the network?
Still working on the studio space, but we are actually getting ready to begin planning of the Urban Nerd Con 2023. I've already started talking with Michael about putting some of our imagery together. I've got something we're going to present to you guys when we get our first meeting going up here in a couple of weeks, and started some conversations with a couple of places. Going to be expecting some big things from folks, but we're ready to get it going, man. Get back in and get this thing popping for next year, man.
Cool. Absolutely fantastic. So for Uncle DJ, Auntie Nicole, Uncle Percy, Uncle Rod, and Uncle Roy, we thank you for joining us today. Please don't be mad when you go see Black Adam. Please go see Wakanda Forever multiple times. And we'll see you next week. Night night.
Please don't be mad.